Video, I'm going to take a look at ScrapeCreators, which provides cool APIs to scrape data from social media creators, as the name indicates. So I learned about it first on Starter Story, but I also find some tweets from the creator on X. And I actually found that some endpoints of these APIs could be useful for my own use cases, and I wanted to give it a shot and make a deep review of this product. Um, so basically, it has some endpoints for tons of social medias, as well as you can see TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it, like X, Reddit, like tons of things actually. And like I think this could help you bypass tons of, you know, tons of anti-bot, anti-scrapping mechanisms and give you an easy access to data on these social medias. And like I found, like, for example, if I take for YouTube, you can get things like the transcript and so on. You can make search for videos programmatically just with the API. So yeah, I think there are um, tons of cool use cases. Like there are tons of cool SaaS you can make based on this thing. Like for LinkedIn, you could, for example, get all the posts from someone and try to help the person keep writing, posting their own style. So yeah, that's just a few ideas that I have in mind. I'm sure people do tons and tons of great things with this API already. Uh, like in my case, I'm going to maybe take a look at the transcript and like, yeah, we just try to get something done with the transcript. So if you just sign up to the dashboard, it's really quick. When you come on the dashboard, you can find your API key directly. And then you've got some video from the creator, something that I appreciate a lot. Like it personalized the application. Like you see that there is a human behind it all. Um, and so basically, you've got a nice playground where you can start exploring the different endpoints that ScrapeCreators offers. And for example, in our case, we are going to explore for YouTube, and I will take a look at, let's say, first my videos, right? Um, so actually, for I don't know about my channel ID. I know that my handle is French Founder. And so if I run the request, well, first you see the snippet, so you can grab the snippet for Node.js or Python or even the curl command. But let's run the request and see a little bit like what it gives us, what the response looks like. Um, so about the response, like it gives us a list of our videos and like it's really up to date because like the last one, as you can see, is 2 hours ago. It's the one I just uploaded a little bit earlier today. Um, and so from there, I can just grab, let's say, the URL of my video and hopefully, or even the ID, like let's say I grab the two of them. And like from there, like since I now have my list of videos with the IDs and so on, maybe I can just try to get the transcript. And okay, so we just paste the URL then because like that's what it's asking for. Um, let's paste the URL and yeah, basically, like YouTube generates transcripts, I believe, and like in this case, it's already generated. And like I could take this transcript and generate things like timestamps. I could turn it into, let's say, a blog article, a newsletter issue, X post. Like there are tons of potential use case just by grabbing in a easy way, like in a programmatic way, the transcript for my YouTube videos, but it could also be like transcript from other creators, like tons of potentials just with these APIs. So what we are going to explore is like, okay, like there is a prompt that I can copy for my AI assistant. Something that I'm noting is that it's making use of Axios Like I would argue that you don't need such a thing as Axios nowadays. Like fetch is everything you need. So you may not need this dependency. I'm not sure if it's getting added by the prompt, even though I gave it a try just earlier with a LinkedIn example. But let's try it again. Basically, I created myself a bun project. So I ran just bunning it in a new folder. And I set this API key, ScrapeCreators API key, inside of .env.local. And from now, I should be able to paste the prompt that I copied just in here. So that's really handy. Like maybe just with the request, it would have worked just fine, but it's even better because like then I believe it knows about the response, the expected response. So that's really cool. Something that I could also like that I liked earlier, and I think agents are better to deal with. That's SDKs. Like having a nice SDK, a TypeScript one especially, like Cloud Code has the habit of taking a look at the types and so on. And so yeah, that would improve the quality of the response generated by agents, since it has types and so on. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. I know it can be a mess to handle like all the changes in the APIs and so on. But yeah, that could be a cool thing to have such a thing as SDKs to interact with ScrapeCreators. So I'm just going to tell it like, okay, put that logic into src slash index.js. And so in here, I can take a look a little bit at the prompt for Cloud Code. So actually, like it requires API key. Okay, so that's my API key. And then, yeah, apparently, like it doesn't mention really Axios. So maybe it would just make use of fetch, which is like, I would prefer it to use fetch. Okay, so it used fetch. Something I can change in here is like making use of bun.env, but it's about the same. And so basically we've got all our code ready to get in a programmatic way and bring it into our code base and so on. We've got this nice function now that can just get the YouTube transcript. And so if we've got a SaaS or something, we can just integrate it. And it's really straightforward. So that's a really good point, actually. And I'm going to just try like running this script and see if it works, if Cloud Code managed to generate the right types and so on, and get the proper result. So like it seems that it worked just fine because like I've got all the transcript in here. I've got the full transcript text. I believe that's what it just logged. Yeah, that's what it just logged in here. Maybe about all the different entries. That's like we've got all the different entries as we can see in here. I've got the language, everything. So it worked just fine. So basically the workflow between like, okay, I want to use this API and put it in my code base. As you can see, it takes minutes. Like it's not even marketing. It literally takes minutes. Like to go from I go to the dashboard, I take an API key and I integrate, let's say, getting a YouTube transcript. It could be like getting pushed from social media as videos. Could be like, for example, I reviewed some SaaS that was focused on improving thumbnails, right? It was called Bit Tiny. Like, if he wanted to improve, if the creator, Mathieu, wanted to improve the experience, they could basically like, okay, first give me your YouTube channel. I will grab all your thumbnails and um, I will generate basically like a nice set of improved thumbnails. Yeah, so basically that's really useful for this use case, but for others as well, um, like for example, just taking the transcript, putting it into other forms. Like there are tons of endpoints, even if you deal with TikTok, with Instagram. That could be cool to maybe get some data on the different creators. Like if you want to build a product tailored at improving the click-through rates, improving these kind of things. Like you could basically scrape in a programmatic way tons of accounts and get some data, do some analytics and so on. So yeah, that's I think about it for this video. That's a really cool test. I don't have much to say. Um, not I don't have much to say. Maybe some SDKs, maybe no Axios in here. Um, but besides these small details, like it's perfect. I don't have much to say. Um, Maybe for LinkedIn, something to note that I tried getting my own post, but I believe I set some field in my settings and like it wasn't able to get my post. So that's the kind of things that you should expect with the LinkedIn API, but I guess that's not really about Scrape Creators. It's just about my settings on my personal account on LinkedIn that is like private. I should probably make it more public. Um, and yeah, like that's minor, and I don't think it's about script creators. But like in this case, like don't say, "Oh, it's about script creator." Like I think it's just the profile that has been that I put like in private or something. Um, so yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you will find it useful. Let me know, and see you in the next one.